Is the 2012 State of the State Address. Good evening, I'm Beth Voorhees. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin will present his first State of the State as West Virginia's new, duly elected governor. Last year, he gave this speech as the acting governor. The special election in the fall erased acting from his title. Members of the House and Senate have gathered here, along with the justices of the West Virginia Supreme Court and members of the Board of Public Works, which consists of the Superintendent of Schools, the Attorney General, the State Treasurer, the State Auditor, and the Secretary of State. The governor's speech is expected to last about 45 minutes and touch on issues he wants the legislature to address during this 60-day session. The governor has been announced and is making his way down the center aisle to the applause of this joint assembly of the State Senate and the House of Delegates. The governor will be touching on a variety of issues tonight. He'll be talking about creating jobs, diversifying the economy. He'll be talking about new mine safety legislation that he wants to introduce and have this legislation considered. He'll be talking about the OPEB liability. This is other post-employment benefits. Education, an education audit was recently released by the governor just last week with a variety of recommendations for the state's education system, and he will touch on some of those recommendations today. And now the governor has entered the House of Delegates chamber and is making his way down the aisle to the podium in the front of the House chamber. It is possible, of course, to watch this program on the internet, as well as here on West Virginia PBS, and also here on West Virginia Public Radio. And you're hearing the applause of the gathering as the governor makes his way to the podium. And we'll take it to the House floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Senate President and I are very proud to present to you the governor of the great state of West Virginia, Earl Ray Tomblin.
Okay. This is the president. Speaker, your budget, you're quite welcome. Mr. President, do you do anything else or do I just take off here? Do you do anything else or I just take off? Rick? Please be seated. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Board of Public Works, justices of the Supreme Court of Appeals, members of the State School Board of Education, members of the legislature, distinguished guests, my fellow West Virginians. I'm humbled and honored to stand before you this evening. We are on the verge of experiencing a new and dynamic chapter in the history of West Virginia. Avenues of opportunities lay before us. There will be challenges along the way, but make no mistake, our trajectory is upward. It is our strength, talent, creativity, and clarity of purpose that gives us the capacity to achieve greatness. And while we can achieve greatness, our success is not guaranteed. Outcomes will be based on our willingness to use our unique abilities and skills for a greater West Virginia. Each of us can make a difference in the lives of our people and our state. And with the knowledge and confidence that the state of our state is stable and strong, now is the time to build on our strength. This is not Washington, D.C., where partisan bickering has subverted the legislative process. This is West Virginia. This is West Virginia, where the Republican and Democrat, liberal and conservative come together, resolve differences, and take decisive action. This ability was made clear when we came together and overwhelmingly passed legislation to develop the Marcellus Shale, create jobs, and provide economic benefits to the entire state. This is not Washington, D.C., where uncontrolled spending has led to uncertainty, a lack of confidence, and a fundamental breakdown in the operation of government. This is West Virginia, where we figured out This is West Virginia, where we figured out in a realistic way how to cut waste, balance the budget, reduce the tax burden, and commit to our citizens and our businesses that this is a great place to work, live, and play. This is not Washington, D.C., where the EPA and other governmental agencies engage in backdoor policy, making threats that threatens the lives of so many of our citizens. This is West Virginia, where we appreciate the need for reasonable, open environmental regulations, but understand the fundamental need for jobs and for low-cost, reliable energy developed right here in the United States of America. We have a responsibility to the people of West Virginia to manage our state's finances responsibly. I take this duty very seriously. Our continued success depends on the choices that we make about every dollar that we take in and every dollar that we spend. Not every governor can say this. The 2013 budget I present to you this evening is balanced. And I do not propose creating any new taxes. The budget I submit to you tonight contains $84 million in tax relief. As we promised, 10 days ago, the sales tax on food was reduced by 1%, and another 1% reduction is scheduled for July. This provides $54 million in relief directly to consumers in the state. And this year, we will have further reduced the tax burden on businesses by approximately $30 million by lowering our business franchise and corporate net income tax rates. Think for a moment about these changes. This administration and this legislature, in a bipartisan cooperation, enacted these tax reductions for individuals and employers, all while balancing our budget and providing the essential services our citizens need. We in West Virginia must continue to forge our own path. We must continue to build bridges between business and labor to create jobs. We must come together, regardless of our political persuasion, to put West Virginia first. Our citizens demand it, and their message is clear. They want good-paying jobs. Therefore, I ask each of you to join me tonight in building a better, stronger, and more vibrant West Virginia, not just for tomorrow, but for generations to come. A year ago, I pledged to go anywhere, do anything, and spend every waking moment focused on encouraging the creation of more jobs. While we have had success, our focus must be laser sharp. Our future demands that we create the right economic environment where the private sector is encouraged to invest and create good-paying jobs with benefits. Jobs that allow every hard-working West Virginian the ability to provide a good life for their family. A year after leading our state, I want you to know that my commitment to that vision is stronger than ever. 2011 was a year of significant progress. Companies invested almost $3 billion in our state. This is a 36% increase in investment over 2010. Those investments reflect the diversified nature of the economy that we're building. Companies like Toyota, who for the 6th time in the history of their business here in West Virginia has expanded, investing $64 million and adding 40 more jobs in Putnam County. Quad Graphics in Berkeley County made a $15 million investment to strengthen its manufacturing platform. This move will create 400 new local jobs. Cayman Energy in Marshall County will invest over $250 million in a new processing plant. Macy's will complete construction and open their Berkeley County Fulfillment Center, employing over 1,000 West Virginians. Amazon will create 200 new jobs, and Alcon over 300 jobs in Cabell County. Oric, Harrington, and Sutcliffe will grow in Ohio County by another 100 jobs. Route 21 distribution facility in Brooke County will expand and add 75 new jobs, and the list goes on and on. Equally as important, I am confident that this activity is only the beginning. We are helping our existing companies succeed and grow by exporting more of our resources and products around the world. For almost all of the past 2 years, West Virginia has led the nation in export growth. Once again, in 2011, West Virginia demonstrated our national leadership in energy production. We successfully recruited new companies like Mark West Liberty, which has announced that it will invest $400 million to build a new natural gas facility and pipeline in Wetzel and Marshall counties. Other energy companies like Weatherford International, Superior Appalachian Pipeline, Dominion Transmission, American Municipal Power, and AEP are all making new investments in our state. Aqua Transfer and Oilfield Solutions, a high-tech company relying on natural gas development, has chosen Upshur County to open a new office that will create 50 jobs. In Kanawha County, the Audubon Company is creating 75 jobs to provide engineering services for oil and gas and the petrochemical industry. And of course, there's companies such as Arch, Alpha, Alliance, United Coal, Patriot, and countless other mining companies that continue to invest in West Virginia, maintaining and creating jobs. Coal is and always will be a part of our future. Our state continues to demonstrate that it can compete on a global level in a worldwide economy. One such example is Carbonex Incorporated, an Australian-based company which recently announced plans to build a $30 million plant to convert coal into pure carbon, a product which will help make coal-fired plant emissions burn cleaner. This clean coal technology will be produced here in Kanawha County and will create another 40 new high-tech manufacturing jobs. All of these are important investments in our state, and we should all be proud that these companies share our confidence in West Virginia and her people. And while we have made progress and our unemployment rate is below the national average, we need more good-paying, stable jobs. Too many of our citizens are still suffering from the recent recession. We must stop the outsourcing of American jobs to foreign countries. We must reinvigorate manufacturing in our state. This is West Virginia. Made in America still has meaning. As leaders of this state, we need to understand that our mission is to create a business climate that fosters job development. It is our responsibility to have the discipline, the know-how, the determination, and most importantly, the pride to take steps that will unleash the engines of our economic future. We must be responsible stewards of the state's finances and live within our means. We did that with our West Virginia Unemployment Trust Fund. Our fund is stable and solvent. While 27 other states have had to borrow billions of dollars from the federal government to pay benefits, we have not had to borrow one dime. And now those states have no other choice but to levy higher taxes, which makes West Virginia even more attractive. We took the necessary steps to reform and privatize workers' compensation in West Virginia. That effort has resulted in rates that have been reduced by more than 47% since 2005. Our premiums are now below the national average. Our hard work is paying off. Our bond ratings continue to improve, and that saves the taxpayers money. Let me now speak very directly about one of my problems with Washington. As long as I am governor, I will continue to fight this administration's war on coal. I think so. A few months ago, a federal court agreed with our lawsuit and ruled that the federal EPA had, in fact, overstepped its authority. I will keep fighting until Washington recognizes that one of the keys to America's future is the use and promotion of our natural resources. It is a fight from which I will not shrink, and one that I fully expect to win. Just as we must continue to mine coal, we must make certain that our miners are safe. We have created a new rock dusting laboratory. We have increased the number and the salaries for our mine inspectors. We are rechecking our rescue chambers to make sure that they are safe. And we have diligently worked to determine the causes of the Upper Big Branch disaster to make sure such a disaster like that never happens again. To build on this progress, I will submit legislation designed to improve mine safety. This legislation will enhance rock dusting standards, protect whistleblowers, mandate methane sensors at long walls, and increase pre-shift reviews. We will prohibit mines from announcing that an inspector is coming, and we will provide more training for self-rescuers. We will also begin a year-long study on the training of our inspectors, our foremen, and our miners. Coal mining is a dangerous profession, but we can make it safer. One death in our mines is one death too many. Finally, now is the time to make sure that our mines are drug-free. Much like Virginia and Kentucky, we will implement our own drug testing program. No workplace can tolerate a person impaired by drugs, particularly in our mines. In addition to our use of coal, there is a new opportunity which we must take advantage of. Thousands of feet below the surface of West Virginia is the Marcellus Shale. The extraction of natural gas and other byproducts can be a significant job creator and provide billions of dollars worth of economic benefits to our state. We've taken the first step. With broad bipartisan support, this legislature passed reasonable regulations to protect the environment while providing the regulatory certainty needed to encourage new job opportunities right here at home. Tonight, I am proud to announce that new, good-paying, permanent jobs will be coming to Harrison County, based in part on the growing opportunities associated with the development of the Marcellus Shale. The Baker Hughes Company will create 275 jobs at a new $40 million facility to be built right along Interstate 79. This is one more tangible sign of the enormous potential to create West Virginia jobs through the responsible development of our natural resources. We thank Baker Hughes and we welcome Chad Deaton, Executive Chairman of the Board of Directors, and George Bernhardt, Managing Counsel, who are with us tonight. Would you please stand up? Thank you. Natural gas can help reduce our nation's dependence on foreign oil. Cost-effective technology is now available to retrofit our vehicles to run on natural gas. I have entered into an agreement with 7 other states to work with automakers to encourage increased production of cars that run on natural gas. We will also explore the conversion of some of our fleet operations to natural gas. It makes sense to start using fuels for our cars and our buses that we produce right here in West Virginia. It is in America's best interest, and we can lead the way. Of course, one of the biggest potential benefits of the Marcellus Shale development is the opportunity to re-energize manufacturing in our state. One ethane cracker by itself would be a multi-billion-dollar, multi-year investment in West Virginia with thousands of construction jobs and hundreds of good-paying permanent jobs. The American Chemistry Council estimates that we could create an additional 12,000 manufacturing jobs in West Virginia with the construction of an ethane cracker. This session, I will submit legislation to further refine our incentives in a fashion I believe will strengthen our competitiveness in achieving that goal. And let me be clear about my intentions. I will do everything in my power to make sure that West Virginia is positioned to take full advantage of this opportunity. I will not limit our efforts to just one project or even 2. We will compete for every project, every dollar of investment, and every new job that relies on the natural resources with which we have been so blessed. It is essential that we don't forget the importance that modern infrastructure plays in West Virginia's economic future. We must find innovative ways to invest in safe water and sewer systems, invest in new and improved schools, in roads and broadband access. To aid in this goal, I will submit legislation that will call for 50% of the surplus revenues to be placed in an infrastructure fund once the rainy day fund reaches 15% of the general revenue. We have to invest in ourselves if we expect others to invest in us. While speaking about infrastructure, let me take a moment to focus on driver education. With the advent of iPhones, Blackberries, 4G networks, and texting, the number of people who are using mobile phones while driving has and continues to increase. And with that increase, there has been an equally dramatic increase in the number of driving fatalities where distracted driving was involved. This is a dangerous activity. It is unsafe, and it puts all drivers at risk, especially our young people. Now is the time to save lives. I will submit legislation that will ban the use of cell phones without hands-free equipment and text messaging while driving. I want West Virginians to remain free from distracted drivers on our public highways. As we embark upon a new year, we tend to take stock of where we have been and make note of where we're going. At no other time has this sense of past and future resonated more than with the joy and anticipation of our troops coming home. Let us express our heartfelt thanks. I would like to introduce Sergeant First Class Benjamin Gentry III and Staff Sergeant James Providenti, who were part of the first and last units deployed to Iraq, and also First Sergeant Robert Cassis, who was deployed in Afghanistan. We are so glad that the best among us who volunteered to serve and protect us are back. Gentlemen, welcome home. Please stand up. As we welcome our troops home and wait for others to return, we must do all that we can to help provide rewarding opportunities for our heroes. They are returning with significant skills and experiences learned from their military training, and that will lead to employment opportunities here at home. That is why I am proud to announce the West Virginia Employment Initiative Program. Now is the time to increase employment opportunities for our military members and veterans by providing job training and vocational counseling, facilitating job searches, and referring qualified applicants to job openings. It is right and fitting that we do all we can to help those who have served us, sacrificed for us, and done so much to preserve our freedom and protect us from harm. Everything I have touched on tonight centers around providing job opportunities for all West Virginians. Speaking of good jobs, I want you to join me in congratulating two outstanding universities that took us to victory in 2 bowl games this year. Let's express true West Virginia pride by congratulating Coach Doc Holliday of Marshall and Tyler Rader of West Virginia University. Let me be clear that nothing is more important to creating good jobs than providing a world-class education for both our children and adults. The world economy demands lifetime learning. We must start by refocusing our education system on the best interest of the student. If we want our children to have a future of their own choosing, we must meet their educational needs from the first day of school until graduation and beyond. We must elevate our aspirations and challenge one another to participate in the world as productive, income-earning members of society. To get a better understanding of best practices in our sister states and identify efficiencies in our own education system, we hired outside private experts to conduct an efficiency audit. As a result of that work, we now have ideas that could save approximately $90 million for use in our education system every year. These recommendations have the potential to eliminate overlap and allow our schools to work smarter and more efficiently. The audit identified potential areas where West Virginia can develop its own best practices for our education system. The audit recommends using new technologies to assist rural communities, giving local officials more authority over their schools, better methods for evaluating teachers, enhancing our teacher mentoring program, and adequately compensating our professional educators. We cannot achieve all these goals overnight, but it is one of my highest priorities. Every West Virginian concerned about our education system needs to take the opportunity to review and discuss this report so we can begin to take advantage of its recommendations and to do so in a way that is right for West Virginia. This year, I will introduce legislation incorporating student achievement into every teacher performance evaluation. This bill will codify a pilot program currently in place and expand it to require yearly assessments of teachers' performance. It is a plan I believe can help make our good teachers great and identify a teacher who needs our help to be better. I will also introduce legislation that will establish a pilot program to improve struggling local schools. Under this pilot program, local administrators and educators will be granted flexibility to attract qualified teachers into those local schools in an effort to obtain better results for our students. The legislation will be implemented in coordination with the Reconnecting McDowell Project, a public-private partnership involving over 40 organizations that will focus on everything from jobs and economic development, housing and transportation, technology and services for students and their families. And at this time, I would like to recognize one of our partners in this effort, Ms. Randy Weingarten, President of the American Federation of Teachers. Randy. In support of this effort tonight, I am pleased to announce that Save the Children will match $1 million in state funds with $500,000 investment in McDowell County. Save the Children will partner with 3 elementary schools and their administrators to focus on literacy. Children in rural counties should have the same chance to succeed as children who live in the most affluent areas of America. Because of this, I am confident that we will bring these opportunities to the children of McDowell County. I'm also confident that these efforts will serve as a model of what we can do throughout the state when we all work together. Learning opportunities come in all forms and are not restricted just to the classroom. Another landmark educational opportunity for our citizens and for our young people all over the world is taking shape in Fayette County. In 2013, the National Boy Scout Jamboree will attract more than 50,000 Boy Scouts and Scout leaders from across the country to the new home of the Boy Scouts of America at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. In 2019, for the first time in 50 years, the World Jamboree will return to the United States and bring 80,000 Scouts and their families to the spectacular hills of West Virginia. We pledge to make the Scouts as proud of their decision to come to our state as we are to have them here. I want to introduce to you now Mike Patrick, the COO of Bechtel Summit Reserve, and Steve McGowan, lead volunteer for the Boy Scouts of America, and ask that you join me in thanking them for choosing West Virginia as the Scouts' permanent home. Please stand, guys. We must also continue to bridge the gap between our education system and its research components and the potential for new business development with job creation. One of the best examples of the fusion of these three areas can be found in Morgantown at Protea Biosciences. Protea was launched as a spinoff from West Virginia University in 2001. It was largely financed by a loan from West Virginia Jobs Investment Trust. Protea was recently recognized as one of the top 10 innovative technology companies in the world for the life sciences. This recognition was for the development of a first-of-its-kind imaging technology that allows for real-time imaging of live cells. The result is that Protea, a startup company nurtured here in West Virginia, will revolutionize the precision and speed by which cancer is diagnosed and monitored. Protea represents in every way what I know West Virginia can produce with smart partnerships between our colleges, universities, and the private sector. And as we do every year, I also want to congratulate a teacher who strives to bring out the best in their students. It is very encouraging to know that we have wonderful, committed teachers like Bob Morris of Clay County High School. Mr. Morris is the Toyota Motor Manufacturing Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield Teacher of the Year. Bob teaches agriculture and forestry in Clay County, while also continuing his own education through W.Va.'s Extended Learning Program. So let us congratulate Bob Morris for being recognized as the Teacher of the Year, and let's thank Yogi Suzuki, General Manager of Toyota, President, and Mike Lutz, General Manager of Toyota Motor Manufacturing in West Virginia, along with Fred Early, President, and Kathy McAllister, Communications Manager of Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, for their continuing support of our educators. Would you all please stand? Reducing the unemployment rate is not just about education or the availability of jobs. Unfortunately, there are some places in West Virginia where jobs are available, but there are not enough qualified, drug-free West Virginians to fill them. Illegal drug use and the abuse of prescription drugs affects all of us. It is an equal opportunity destroyer of dreams and lives. It affects the poor, the affluent, the educated, and everyone in between. That is why this past year I formed the Governor's Substance Abuse Advisory Council and 6 regional task forces. My advisory council and task forces have been collecting the facts, working with prevention, detection, and treatment experts in order to increase the access and effectiveness of our substance abuse programs. Solving our drug problems is not just about increasing criminal penalties. I have learned that we must use technology to fight our drug problems and enhance enforcement. We must use our prescription drug monitoring program so that when an abuser tries to doctor or pharmacy shop, we stop it. I have also learned that far too often, graduates of our state programs do not return to the workforce because they cannot pass a drug test. When this happens, we've lost valuable education dollars. We've lost a productive member of our community, and we have lost the opportunities to strengthen our economy. I will therefore require that individuals pass a drug screening prior to enrolling in our state taxpayer-funded workforce training programs. Now is the time to get serious about ending drug abuse and addiction. Tackling our state's drug problems will take time, commitment, and perseverance. The same is true with respect to handling our state's finances. Our nation is still recovering from the worst recession since the Great Depression. The global economy is threatened by instability in Europe and beyond. The ballooning federal debt means that we can expect the federal government to make decisions that will negatively impact our state. But this is West Virginia. Our state's finances are a source of strength. We have a proven track record of balancing budgets. We have one of the best rainy day funds in the nation with a surplus of over $820 million. We pay our bills on time, and we keep our financial commitments to our retirement systems. Over the past several years, we've taken steps to reduce the corporate net income tax and to phase out the sales tax on food as well as the business franchise tax. These tax changes provide relief for our taxpayers while making our state more competitive for business growth. While we can be very proud of these accomplishments, we cannot rest on our laurels. We face a future with exploding Medicaid expenses, increased enrollment, medical cost inflation, declining lottery revenues, and uncertain economic times. We will meet these challenges with the same pragmatic approach that we have applied over the past 25 years as we have grown from a state on the brink of bankruptcy to become a beacon of fiscal health in a nation where shortfalls have been the norm. We changed our mindset and our spending practices to accomplish fiscal stability, and it has made all the difference in the world. While I am pleased with this success, we have one more large, outstanding obligation that we must address for the future of our state: other post-employment benefits, or OPEB. We knew we had some hard choices to make, and we made them. Along with that commitment to act responsibly, just last month, the PEIA board took a monumental step forward to cut our OPEB liability in half. This was a significant effort led by a host of groups, including several unions. And I want to thank them for stepping up to the plate and helping to solve this issue. Today, OPEB is the last unfunded liability we have to face, and I will provide specific legislation this session to eliminate it once and for all. With OPEB under control, West Virginia will have the ability to reach the upper echelons of financial strength and stability. This is what business investors want to see, a state that can stand on its own financially. West Virginia has proven it can stand on its own, and recent investments have demonstrated that West Virginia is a state where businesses want to invest and create jobs. More jobs and lower taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just a slogan, it's a strategy. Together, we are making it happen in West Virginia. We will not only celebrate our accomplishments, we will reshape our future. We will build a new West Virginia where our schools prepare our children for future employment. Our communities are drug-free, good jobs are plentiful, and our families can stay and prosper in West Virginia. Help me make this happen. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can make West Virginia all it can be. Now is the time. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless the great state of West Virginia. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. There you go. I don't know, put your hand out, get number here. Okay, all right.
You've been tuned to live coverage of the State Address, delivered by Governor Earl Tomblin from the chamber of the House of Delegates at the state capitol in Charleston.